Welcome back to our big broadcast. That was an extended little break there, but I don't know what to say 90% of the time. Aaron Helms with us today. Chris the Voice with us today. The big star Jason Screen. I like to call him Cody. Jaybird Wells is with us. If you can believe that. She's back in the mix. Here's a little details. I always forgive one person who's kind of halfway wronged me through the year, so I decided to forgive Jay. So she's back. Michael Nagy, wherever he is, I don't know where he went. But let's start with let's finish up with Aaron's Helms before we get going. What the hell did you think of this show so far today?
It was
because this is
always
quite the deal.
It's a Jiggy Jaguar show.
That's all that can be said, baby. That's all that can be said.
Getting to talk
wrestling and bullshitting and all that.
Fun to me. I like to promote.
It's a hell of a deal. Well, we've got Chris the Voice with us, the big star, as I like to call him. Now, and Jeffro, of course, or as John would like to say, unfortunately. Where is hand actually? See if we can hand that black microphone there, Nagy. See if you can get that across there. That thing right there. See if we can get that to somebody. See if you can get that to Chris without it causing too many issues. Might have to adjust that camera. Might have to adjust that camera, bring that camera back up, something. Is it on? Turn on? Because I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There we are.
No.
Maybe.
Totally missed that. I got one. Nope. I got one. We all got one, I think.
We all got
Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, we can hear you, so you trade mics with Chris.
Trade with Chris so he can
Trade
have
with
the
Chris,
one
so he can have
Can
the
you hear me
one.
now?
There you
This
go.
was the original one I had.
Perfect.
Here we go.
Perfect.
There you go,
Now
Cody.
steal
Good
this,
job.
Perfect.
Thank you.
So, tell us about your organization that you have. You do all sorts of ring announcing. You do all sorts of things. Wait, before we get into that, bringing up ring announcing, and I don't know if Mosier saw this. Maybe Helms saw this too. Ken Anderson is a boxing announcer.
Phenomenal too.
Yes.
That's what he started out as, wasn't he?
One of my buddies,
but he
who's
did it
the fuck's his name? Jeff.
like WFC or something. Like
What the hell's his
a
name?
bigger boxing.
He was an announcer.
Houston?
Awesome.
Houston. That's it.
Jeff Houston.
He's fucking pissed.
Really?
He's like, Ken Anderson needs to pay his dues. Why did he get a front row seat and he's with Top Rank now? He's like, I know ring announcers who have paid their dues and haven't gotten it. So
I say if you get a shot, you get a shot.
Okay.
I said you get a shot, you get a shot.
Well, I think he did it before.
Yeah.
That's originally what he was doing. He
think
did some
so.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's how they came up with his gimmick, with the microphone
And-
coming down.
I won't say anything about any of them because they're all obviously, way more talented than I am. But, you can't be mad at anybody for getting a shot. I mean, what would you do? If it was offered to me, and I have no, major experience, but if it was offered to me, I'd take it.
I'd take it.
Of course you would. And so Jeff would have done the same, I'm sure, if it was offered to him. And he's an amazing announcer. I love it. I'm entertained every time I watch it. He does a lot of it in
Helms,
South Korea.
You thought it was damn entertaining. He was.
Yeah, I loved it. But I've always thought Ken Anderson should do that. I've always thought, or Ken Kennedy, whatever you want to call
Whatever you
him.
want to call him.
Kennedy! But I've always thought that he was a hell of an announcing voice. I would like to hear him on commentary.
I think that'd be awesome too.
I would like to hear. He's one of those guys that I think is very, very entertaining and captures he has a lot of that charisma where he doesn't have to be very good in the ring because he can get you convinced with his voice.
There you go.
And in a boxing role, I think, for that main event, for that, I think a lot of ring announcers can kind of kill a main event if they're just boring as hell with it, or if they don't sound like they're that enthused.
Well, that's good.
And
Because I wanted to make sure
That's-
the wrestling guys,
That's the key,
especially
right
the
there.
announcer.
Yeah. Hey, I'm okay with it.
Okay,
I'm
well
good
that's
with
cool.
it. The way I look at it, like I said,
Because I know
if you get
Jeff
a shot,
Houston
get a shot.
was fucking pissed. I'm like, are all ring announcers pissed? That
He's pretty successful in his own right. I mean, Jeff's got a lot going on for his own, his own self. So,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know him personally. Never met him personally. I just follow him and I try to learn from all of them. But what is going on over here?
I don't know what we're doing.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
Just go on.
Tell us about your
Again, I try to pretend.
tell us
Here we
about
go.
your organization. You
All right, Voice for
Getting ready.
Change. Actually,
Yes.
it is. I've started this movement basically from all of the different events that I've been to. I see a lot of violence. I do. Believe it or not. I mean, there's just a lot of violence
For
everywhere.
whatever-
Drama.
and not just in the last hour and a half.
And it is. But then, behind the scenes, you get back there and you find out that a lot of these guys are best friends. They're getting along. There's
It's
the drama.
fantastic. It's,
And what I want, with all the violence that I've been, around and what have you, what I'm trying to do is give back a little bit of non-violence, anti-hate, anti-bullying, anti, everything that's negative in a sense. And what we're trying to do is start a movement of one human race. That's
I think
kind
it's
of what we're
awesome.
promoting. And with that, we're trying to put together a music festival. This music festival will be everything from country, rock, rap, blues, any kind of music we can get there. That's what we're going to have, and I want to have it to be free to the public. And what we'll do is discuss, ways to, declassify humans, or people, so to speak, from race to just being a human. That's
I
what
think
we
it's
all are.
awesome.
And most people that I know, the one thing that will bring them together is music. And I do a lot of announcing in sports and everything, but my one love is music.
I think that's cool.
And that is what would bring everybody together. I think is music. If anything, it's going to be.
Unless it's screaming angry music.
Even that has its spot. I have been in the middle of a mosh pit and come out of it feeling closer to the people that I was just banging up against and having respect. And you know what? They help you up, and
Well,
because you all love the music.
what's great about the whole music thing, and you're gonna love this, Nagy. I was talking to Helms at the last XWE show, and he said that he sold a shit ton of merch at a country music festival.
Oh yeah. Hey, shitload of merch.
Oh yeah. Well, he's got the American flag all over his stuff. So I mean,
Plus, really the tagline "Red, White, and Better Than You."
yeah, red, white, and better than you. I mean, that just plugs it, But
There may be some.
it works, and music.
I think it's
just-
awesome.
That's where we're kind of going through it. And I have you go to christhevoicemc.com. You can yes,
Website.
yeah, I got a website.
You've got a website and a domain name.
christhevoicemc.com.
Holy smokes, you're on top of this shit.
Well,
You're not just
I've had
saying,
that.
find me on
Okay.
Facebook.
No, I've had that for a while. You can find demos, you can find all kinds of stuff, but you can also get to the Voice for Change
Or my favorite
link.
was always go to my MySpace page.
Oh God, I still have one out there. I don't know the password. I don't even know how to get to it, but I see the picture if you go to MySpace, and I'm like, what the heck?
The one thing
Does that still run? Yeah.
It's more
People
for
do.
musical. It's more for musical groups and stuff.
Is it?
Pretty much it is.
Okay. Okay.
It's almost strictly that.
Well,
Well, that's actually something
Helms,
interesting.
Helms was
I
talking
have to
earlier.
check
He's got an email address you can send stuff to.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well, I have
oh
that
my
too.
God, professionals. What?
christhevoice@outlook.com as well, but
I had a conversation with someone, which we know probably who I'm talking about here in Hutch. But he told me, he said, I don't need a website because I've got Facebook.
Now,
no.
there are so
I mean, Facebook's good, but
they need the website.
even Facebook, I mean, how often are you going to catch that post or whatever that gets posted when you got 5,000 things coming across your feed? If you want direct information.
And
the
what's
website
funny
always
is,
the
what's
best.
funny is 400 of those things are her different Facebook posts.
Exactly, or yours.
Because she's got 16.
That is true. I
60
do see a
accounts.
lot of her posts.
Facebook makes it difficult now. They hides people's
That's my
feeds.
problem.
And it
So
really just depends.
I think that's
but-
awesome. You've
yeah,
got
you can go that.
you've got the website.
Yes,
He's
we
got
have a-
he's
we have a
using
GoFundMe
email,
as well.
not just sending a DM.
Well,
Well, and
for sure. For sure. Like
as
I
I
said,
can, I'm gonna get a website, but it's I think if you don't have the content for it, then
Well, that
what's the
too.
point?
That is
and,
true.
And I don't right now. I mean, besides
You'd be surprised.
merchandise
Aaron.
stuff, like what would you?
You'd be
what would I
surprised.
have? But
Your history, your
bio.
booking, like mine, because I do a lot of different events, so I have everything from the Salina Liberty to Saints.
Yep.
I have demos for voiceover work.
Now it's a
Don't trust it right
challenge.
now. My voice is about shot right now.
Well, you
Kids will do that for you.
Well, we've been
You
trying to
bet.
talk over
Screaming
Jeffro,
at
so.
yeah,
But it
Special
just
Needs
helps to
Sunday
have.
on the Jiggy Jaguar show.
We got to commend you though for allowing somewhere for people to go, even like
Who?
him.
You got
You
a
know?
what?
I got to commend him. He's allowing him to come
He's
in.
putting me
No
over.
judgment. No judgment. He's
putting
letting
me over.
Jethro in.
Do you realize
No
that judgment is a self-defense mechanism?
Oh, maybe that.
Everybody has those. Everybody says, I don't judge people. They're full of shit. Everybody
That is
judges
true. Everybody
everything.
judges everybody.
You should have took a
happens.
picture of that, Nagy.
It's whether you let that
Jethro.
judgment. It's
Jethro.
whether, John. It's
Jeffro,
whether you
can I
let
be,
that
can I be
judgment.
real nice? He's about ready to kick your ass. So. Jeffro, just go sit over.
Just go take a seat, brother. Now,
I'm trying to keep you from getting your ass beat.
because you've been super kicked, you've been chopped.
And the champ here,
Whip.
he's
And the
vicious.
champion?
He's vicious.
He just pile drove a guy through a table to win that title. So
Oh, did he pop right back up after that? Too?
no,
I don't think either one of them stood up after that.
no. Yeah, no.
That was.
That's
You
the
know-
reason I don't like him, because he killed that whole show with that one move.
And actually, I was the one taking that pile
But-
of pepper, and,
we learned from that.
which sucked.
We'll
I
definitely.
hope so.
Well, because if anything, I'm gonna go to him and I'm gonna let him know
Well, that's the
about
only thing
that.
that
Right there.
irritated
I think
me.
somebody already has too. So we gotta learn from those mistakes.
Well, that was the same one where Jerry Bostic kicked that one dude's ass
Oh,
outside
and-
the ring.
Yep. I remember
Oh,
that.
Kenny's?
I think me and you had a conversation that night about this. I feel like me and you talked
think so.
about
He
it.
Probably
that night.
does. Either
I
that
heard
or
about
that's
that.
when I seen you.
Because we saw the same thing. And we're like, man, come on, guys, you gotta be on. It's a show. I mean, you gotta make
Yeah.
it look. Nobody's gonna get up after that.
well, it's kind of
Well,
like
it's like-
Cornette when he went after Leo Rush after they'd
Well,
signed him
fuck
to
Leo Rush.
NXT, and all of a sudden he's like he took a fucking pile driver through a flaming table and he jumped back up like nothing happened.
Dude
And
gets
it does, it
and you're gonna go
bumped
wrestle
off a
for
ladder
NXT?
through a
And
table
see, and that
stood
does
right
happen
back up like
all
fuck
levels.
off.
all levels.
Exactly.
See, what you got to do if you want to be successful in business, you got to be like Johnny Valentine was. His key thing, Jeffro, would you go sit down and just quit? Seriously. Just sit down.
Take
You're
a
disturbing
seat.
the fuck
Take a
out of
seat,
me.
brother. Take a seat, brother.
But Johnny
So-
Valentine always said, he goes,
Johnny Valentine.
he
go
goes,
back to
I
it.
can't make you believe in wrestling, but I can make you believe in me.
There you go. That's all you can do. That
Absolutely.
is, man. You should post
It just-
that. I'm surprised that's not a meme yet. I haven't seen it shared. There's 5 million wrestling memes, and I have not seen that one because that hits home.
This is live video right now. You're giving hints.
Well, there you go.
So
Get it.
Chris,
See, look, he's already on it. You
when
better
when are you looking to do your first event?
I am looking to do the first event after the first of the year. Obviously, it's going to take some time. What we're doing is crowdfunding and gaining sponsors right now. You can go to the GoFundMe page, or like I said, actually go to ChrisTheVoiceMC.com.
Yeah.
It'll got the link there.
That's awesome.
And like I said, we want to crowdfund it so people don't have to pay. I mean, everybody at the door can get in and listen and enjoy, and there'll be food, music, and conversation. And that's what
That's
it's going to
cool.
be. Bring everybody together in unity.
So we've got Chris the Voice with us today. We also have the fantastic Prodigy Aaron Helms.
Thank
The
you.
Prodigy Aaron Helms. Not just Prodigy Aaron Helms, the Prodigy Aaron Helms.
Absolutely.
Trust me, he has made sure to correct me when I have
The-
gotten it wrong. And you'd
the-
be surprised he's quite the announcer himself.
He is the XWE heavyweight champion of the world. Which, by the way, that belt, does anybody know where you guys got that belt made?
It's a secret.
Because
This is the same. The guy that designed this belt or made this belt is the same one that does the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla titles.
that's cool.
And
That's
I'm pretty
cool.
sure he's a guy out of California. I'm pretty
Because
sure. that
because
used for this
I
one.
see a lot of I'm starting to see a lot of these guys pop up on Facebook that build belts,
Really?
customized belts and things, and nothing looks like that.
It's beautiful.
It's legit and heavy.
And
that's for
and
sure.
and you know I hate to say this because he'll get pissed. He'll make a Facebook post about
Hey,
it.
this is a moment where there's no drama.
But that's right. But Lance is getting ready to have a belt for MWE, and I'm like, I hope
Good for him.
he goes and gets something that looks, cool like
bet he
that
will.
instead of. I've seen some of these wrestling companies, and John knows who I'm talking about. John knows. John can probably tell me a billion companies that is like they just go out and get like a replica title belt somewhere,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the replica belts. I think
and then they just like
More for a visual
if
for the
you're-
fan, I guess. But
if you're in the business of wrestling and you're trying to sell your brand, and I'm not going to say that we haven't done it in the past because obviously RWE tag team titles and stuff are replica belts that have been on our show.
well, yeah, but I mean,
So I don't shit on anyone for it, but I think that if you really take pride in your product as a brand,
Well, it's like
if I
Dan's
was
belts.
a promoter, I would definitely have a custom belt.
Dan's belts have Taz on them.
Yeah.
The prettiest
And so-
belt I've ever seen made is the IWR Heavyweight Championship. This belt is one of my top 5, but the IWR belt is fucking gorgeous.
I'm a big belt
and
mark.
whoever made that, I mean, they should be proud because that's like top of the line. Like that could have been a WWE belt. That could have been a.
Yeah, I like the older style simplistic ones. Have you seen the older? It was the Mid-South North American title. Simple belt, but it was really cool looking. Just real simple. It was like I'll see if I can find a picture. See if I can find it. But
See, I always like the old, and it's just because I'm a belt mark, I guess. The old NWA TV title, the red belt.
yeah, it was pretty cool. See, I also
Remember
my
that
favorite
one?
one. My favorite one of
'Cause
all
when they
time
came
was
out
the
with
old
the Universal
AWA title that both Vern Gagne and Nick Bockwinkel held. That thing was a monstrous belt, but it was so sweet looking.
See, for a long time, I would say the big gold belt was my favorite.
Yep.
Like I loved it. But I
WCW.
think because so many places use replicas of it, it's kind of killed the allure of that
it's
for
like
me.
the replica. to
But
replica.
the belt that I still think is the prettiest belt ever is the winged belt that Hogan.
Oh,
won.
the WWE
yeah.
wing title, man.
Yes, I love that belt. Love that.
I still
belt.
don't know why they did. Why'd they get rid of that?
I think that's one of those things you could have had that.
You
for
could have that.
Progression.
100 years,
Progression.
and that could have
They
been.
get rid of everything.
Holy crap! It's just a beautiful belt. I also really like the old school oval intercontinental title.
Yes.
I think that would have looked way cooler on a white strap. But
I remember, and maybe John's got some inside scoop on this. When WCW was around, they kept switching the tag belts and the TV belt every week. That it's like they had a new belt. What was the purpose behind this? Did somebody lose the belts? Did they break them? What?
Very
It's like
possible.
if you look at like Hall and Nash when they had the WCW tag belts, they had like what 3 different sets of belts over the time that.
Well, it very well could be. I mean, a lot of times, like even Helms, he's got this belt. They leave it in the possession of the wrestler. You know, you win the belt, you win the belt.
See, I wondered.
So,
I wondered
Many
with
times they lose them.
with indie companies. Do you guys?
Yeah.
so
Most-
it depends. Most
usually.
places
Because
do.
I know WWE, they have the deal where they have the 2 belts. They have the one they have on TV, and then they have the one that they give you to
Oh, yeah.
take
Yeah.
around with you.
right.
And-
We're not rich,
But-
so we can't do
So-
that. But
So I wondered if because I when I asked Helms about bringing the belt today, I thought, well, we're doing an XWE show. You know, XWE guys will be here. You know, maybe, but you guys literally, after he wins the belt, he gets to hang on to that.
Yep. And I
Wow.
and I
Drake
take
Gallows had the Liberty
That's
belt.
my burning question
Yeah.
is it like a trophy where you take it in the house and if
Yeah.
somebody challenges him, then they make a new belt?
no.
No.
They get
same
the
belt.
belt that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
then
get-
do you retire
He loses
a
it, he
belt
loses
so that
it.
somebody actually gets to keep the belts?
Not
Or is it
unless you-
constantly
It's constantly being.
challenged?
It's the same
Challenge.
Don't know
belt.
why. It's just so simple, but I liked it so much.
That actually looks pretty good.
Now see WWE
That
used
looks like an official.
Yeah.
That's
what
what I'm
reminds-
saying. It's older and simple, but I love it.
WWE used to do a deal where like if Bret,
That you
that's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. I like
Or
that.
like if Bret Hart had the belt
pictures?
and he loses it, Vince gives him a belt and he has it at the house. But I mean, like indie companies, they don't have that kind of cash.
No.
Now,
So
chances are, I'm going to buy replica versions of all the belts that I win through.
That's cool.
Like, just for my own.
Just to have them.
Yeah,
Wall
because
of
I can be
trophies.
like, look, this is something I actually accomplished in this business.
That I think is really cool.
Drake Gallows does that, and I think that's awesome. And it gets expensive, obviously, because especially for him, because he's like championing like 12 different companies right now. Like, yeah, dude, that guy, all throughout Oklahoma, I don't think there's a single Oklahoma company he's not a champion for, of some kind, and I don't think there's very many of the northern Texas companies he's not a champion for. That dude just stays winning belts.
He just stays busy.
So do people like scout
it's
go to events and then scout somebody that they want to try to get from a different company?
Yeah.
Oh, Maggie.
Oh yeah.
What have you
But it's also a lot of people talk. Like, I might go work with a group down in Texas and be like, hey, this guy kicked ass. We should really look into bringing that guy in.
Bringing that guy
It's all
in.
word of mouth.
But now
All
that's me personally. I put people over all the time. Like, it's very hard to get on my shit list. Very easy to get on my I'm a mark list.
So you like Kansas as Bob?
His name is Kenny Zombie Johnson.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I tease the crap out of Kenny on this
I mean,
show.
there's a lot of guys I'm fans of, and there's a lot of really talented wrestlers in the Midwest here, in the Central States, especially Texas. Holy crap, you could wrestle a different company in Texas every weekend. And not wrestle the same place in a year.
Never wrestled the same guy twice, essentially.
Yeah. I mean,
Kansas
there's some
could be the
really,
same.
really talented
Well,
guys.
that too.
It could be
and
the
that,
same
that's
if-
just what we've talked about. And like with Helms, you bring that up. Okay, Helms has worked for Taz out in Hoisington. He's worked for XWE. And it's like
Or Zombie Kenny.
Kenny?
You know, he's worked for everybody. You know? Everybody.
Kenny has
he works
got-
for himself mostly every day.
Kenny has gotten beat up by the best. in
Yes,
some
that is a
cases.
fact. That is a fact, and people still love him every time he comes out.
They still love him, even
But-
his stupid shark kid.
You know, and a lot of these guys are all independent. None of them are making money.
Well,
None
yeah.
of them are making bank. You know, they're doing it because they love the sport, and
They're making it.
Oh,
they're making
thank
it
you,
work.
sir. Appreciate the
If
Well,
I
I-
just did last time, if they get hurt really bad, then they have to cover their own insurance.
exactly.
You got to
yeah.
do your own
You know,
thing.
I mean,
so.
and a lot of these
I'm good.
times, that's
So-
really all they can do is just pop back and forth and.
So Helms, to give us and we've never really talked about this on this show, so I guess we'll do a little inside baseball.
Okay, should I leave now? I gotta get going anyway, actually.
Well, hey, what? Yeah, but we're one more thing, and then we'll wrap up here. If somebody goes to book you for a show, how the hell does this work? Like if I'm a wrestling company in like Ohio, and I see an XWE tape, or I see you wrestling for Dan or whatever.
Yeah, so normally they'll shoot me a message on Facebook because that's the easiest way to get a hold of most people, especially wrestlers. And then we can talk, like, hey, kind of what are you looking to do? I'm really, I do this because I love it, and I'm not big on I'm going to make $1 million or anything. Now, it is still a business.
Well, yeah.
So I have to financially make sense out of doing
See, this is the thing I've always wondered with wrestling, and that John could speak to this too, since you've been, and I'm, you've been in wrestling forever. I didn't call you old.
No, I'm
I
good
call
with
you
it. I am
seasoned.
old, so I
He's come to terms with it.
He's come to terms with it.
I'm old. I'm good with it. I like it.
Like me and
It
Nagy,
happens as you grow.
like if me and Nagy were to bring in, like he's marking out right now because of the whole Papa Roach thing. He might get to go photograph Papa Roach.
Congratulations.
Okay.
Good. That's
So okay, if he decides he goes and takes photos for the Papa Roach thing, he decides, well, I've got a venue. Let's say he buys a venue. I want to bring Papa Roach in. He's got to pay him a deposit. He's got to do all this stuff. Is that happen with wrestlers, or are you guys
No,
pretty
but
much,
it's-
hey, travel on out here and I hope you
Well,
get paid?
the
kind
way
of
it
thing?
is
How does this
most
work?
of the
A lot
time,
of them do
I'm
that.
sure with he's probably different on some stuff, but like if I was trying to get him to come up to do a show for me, I might sit there and say, hey, do you get a couple of other guys? That way they split the cost of the travel up there. You give everybody some money like that, so the cost is a little bit deferred, so they actually make a little bit going up.
Okay.
But that's the easiest way to
Maybe
do
put
it.
it
Yeah,
up at a
carload
hotel
pricing is the way to do
sometimes.
everything. So
It's harder to get an individual lots of times.
Because I've always wondered how this works. Because
if I can't hop in a car with 4 other wrestlers most of the time, 3 to 4 other wrestlers, I'm pretty upset because it really hurts my bottom dollar, and it also hurts the promotion because then it's normally I'm more expensive. Now, again, I don't price myself out of bookings, and I've created a value for myself in the fact that I have sound equipment, I have lighting equipment, that kind of stuff. So now I can bring that value to your brand as well. Like, okay, do you have a DJ set up for this show? If not, I can do that for you.
bring that.
I can bring my sound equipment. I can bring my lighting equipment, my smoke machines. I can make this look a little more professional for you, and you just have to have somebody that'll operate it while I wrestle.
Okay. Because
so
I've
that's-
always wondered how that works. Because, like I was saying, you see these bands come through, and they're like, well, we want to be fed. Well, we want to have a hotel. We want to be paid.
Well,
but
some
we need a
wrestlers are like that
deposit.
too. Some wrestlers are like that
And
too.
I'm like, so if you jump in a carload full of guys and you go out to wherever, you're just hoping that the guy's not going to screw you over. is
So
essentially what
I told you that story about me driving 13 and a half hours with Kenny. So we drove all the way up there to this
that was a nightmare.
BFE, BFE, Illinois, and we go into this little VFW. There couldn't be more. Like, even if it was a sold-out crowd, that sold-out crowd would be 45 to 60 people, tops. And he made us buy a T-shirt to get on the show. I knew I wasn't making any money.
You heard this, Nagy. They had to buy merch.
I knew
Buy merch.
we weren't, but I was brand new into the business. This was like my-
And I understand, and in a way,
And it-
you got to
so-
pay your dues and all
yes,
this stuff.
paying
I
your
get
dues,
that.
and these were guys I wanted to learn from, and I think that, sometimes you have to realize that, like any small business, as an independent wrestler, you're going to lose money your first 3 to 5 years overall. You're going to lose money, but it's investing in yourself and investing in yourself wisely that I think a lot of guys don't do. Myself, I have merchandise that I buy for very cheap that sells like hotcakes. In that I sell fidget spinners. I made $3,500 off fidget spinners.
Jesus.
That paid
So
for all my
John,
wrestling
has
for the
it
year.
always been this way where you're just hoping a prayer, you get and it's just something that's just never. Nobody's ever really had any major. Because from what I can tell,
most guys,
what-
honestly, where they make most of their money is selling merchandise.
Yeah.
You're not making your money off actually being booked on the thing. It's being able to sell merchandise and not having to
getting
pay
there and
somebody a
hustling.
cut.
I myself am coming up with merchandise because it's tough, even for me as an announcer, to go anywhere. Because who wants to
Okay,
pay
'cause I'm-
enough to get me to travel?
I'm just thinking of you
It
guys
is.
with your modern day stuff, and I'm thinking back to John going up and down the roads like
Oh,
he's
I don't
done.
even know how they could.
And I'm
We
like,
always went like 5-6
Yeah,
people
that's the
jammed
only
into
way.
a car
That's
together.
the only
you
way.
But
know,
it's also
you
the
Okay.
promoters that don't take
I don't
care of
have
the
5
guys.
announcers. though.
Also, don't promote that long because word
well,
spreads.
that too. Word
Because,
spreads, and
Like if
it's
John got screwed with his carload of guys and none of them could make enough money for that trip to have made sense for
they're
them,
one of them,
all
all
of them
4
were
of them are
probably
going to
gonna be
call
talking
you,
about that.
Well,
today.
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's going to get back to you, and
yeah,
then you're
so-
going to tell.
Nobody's gonna
And
know
I
the work
respect
done.
John.
It's like
John-
Bruce
John's a
Pritchard
friend.
says, tell a friend, tell a wrestler.
Right. Well, so and that's kind of so it is kind of such a unique. It's a unique business because it's very much a handshake agreement on so much stuff. But if John starts saying, "Hey man, that guy, you don't want to work for him,"
You don't want to
he's-
work for
Yeah,
him.
there's
He's a
few
charlatan.
people like that around
which is
here
what
that
I've heard
heard.
about some places that I'm working for. Unfortunately, coming up.
Hell,
but-
somebody talked about
but-
one of them today.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or mixed
but I
them.
mean, it's if you hear that from credible people, man, wrestlers will quit working for them.
Okay.
And then those promotions go out, and then they
Okay.
lost out. So it is a gentleman's
Well,
agreement.
that
not
was
to, not
that
to
was the
screw each
one
other.
thing that I wanted to get through today, and I wanted to make sure that we covered, because John's got a different perspective than you guys, and you guys got but you guys are all in the same business.
Yeah.
And so, okay. Well, that's awesome. Well, as we wrap up here, next week we're going to do our freestyle hip-hop battle.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to come back for that one.
I was going to have
Sorry.
I was wanting you to come
Come
MC
MC
it.
that.
And
Maybe I'll even join it.
John is
I'd be absent.
get out to Total Action Zone Wrestling tonight.
Yep.
There you go.
And then Aaron Helms,
Right. What time's
XWE
that start,
coming up.
John?
I'll be up there 5.
6
Okay.
is when doors.
I got
Well,
it.
5's
The show
doors.
starts
Dinner
Yeah.
with family. But
So
after that,
we're gonna do that, and we will
Wish
see
him
you
luck.
next week. And for
go
Michael
Palm
Nagy,
Street
Jay Bird
straight
Wells,
up.
everybody else, we got to get the hell
It's like
out of
40
here.
Hey,
So we will.
let me say it one time.
What? Go.
Stay ready for action, ladies and gentlemen.